Who opposed Kavanaugh's nomination turned out for rallies in several U.S. cities, including Berkeley. In Washington, protesters marched from the courthouse where Kavanaugh currently works to a Senate office building. 300 people were arrested. Hundreds of law professors across the country also making their voices heard. Their letter published by the New York Times states their opposition to Kavanaugh. KPIX 5's Da Lin on the Bay Area professors who signed on. Da.
Right. Quite a few law professors from UC Berkeley and from other parts of the Bay Area signed this letter here that was delivered to the U.S. Senate today. This letter states that Judge Kavanaugh does not have the judicial temperament to be a justice. A vocal protest at UC Berkeley, demanding the Senate to turn down Judge Brett Kavanaugh's nomination.
Don't let a rapist on the Supreme Court.
There was a different type of action taking place quietly behind the scenes, but making the same demand.
It really isn't about the allegations, it's about the nature of the response to them.
At least 2,400 law professors from the Bay Area and across the country signed a letter saying Kavanaugh isn't qualified based on one thing:
the lack of judicial temperament.
Asking about, blackout, I don't know, have you?
They say his anger, aggression, and evasiveness from last week's hearing made it impossible for him to be a fair justice.
It was essentially a job interview, and it's for a promotion to the highest court in the land. And I don't think that any of us would have gotten our jobs if we went in there being belligerent and displaying that kind of aggressiveness.
UC Berkeley law professor Christopher Coots is hoping the letter will convince the few Republican senators who are still undecided.
He will not be an impartial judge. I think it'll be hard to get a fair hearing for groups that who he regards as arrayed against him.
I'm concerned about someone moving forward onto the court that isn't showing compassion for the people who may be claiming they've been harmed.
The number of law professors signing this letter continues to grow. Now, those professors are saying that this is not about partisanship. They say this is about Kavanaugh's personal qualities. Live at UC Berkeley, I'm Da Lin, KPIX 5.
Time magazine has put Palo Alto professor Christine Blasey Ford on this week's cover. This is not a photograph of her, as you can tell. What it is an illustration of her testifying before Congress, and the image was drawn by San Francisco-based artist John Mavroudis. If you look closely, that image is made up of words and phrases from Dr. Ford's testimony.